y'all, it's me China and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today you guys, as you can see by the title of the video, this is just going to be a little sit down video catching you guys up on lock extensions, and I'm just going to pretty much be answering any questions that you guys have regarding lock extensions. Before we start this video, if you guys have seen one of my previous sit down videos, y'all know that I always have to have me a little drinky drink. But today we are just drinking ice water. If you don't know, your girl is 32 weeks pregnant. Well, I'll be 32 weeks in a couple of days. So yeah, we're just sipping on this good old H2O. So let's cheers to gaining knowledge on lock extensions. Let's cheers to healthy natural hair thing. Let's cheers to being a baddie, because what? But no y'all, so let's go ahead and hop right into this video. So I made a list of 10 questions that I got asked a lot while I had lock extensions. If you guys don't know, you can go back and watch my previous videos when I got my lock extensions installed. And go back and watch my previous videos. I did vlog me actually getting lock extensions. I did like 3 months, 6 months update videos, so feel free to go back and watch those. And also you guys, if you go back to when I like first started YouTube, I had my natural lock. So just to give you guys a background for those of you who may be new to my videos and to who I am, I do locks. I'm a lock artist. I have had natural locks, meaning that I grew out my real hair with locks, and then I also had lock extensions. So I'm very knowledgeable about locks and everything that comes with them, the struggles, the pros, the cons, and everything. So over my like 4 or 5 year lock journey, I have had a lot of people, you know, come and ask me questions, especially lock extensions. So today I just wanted to sit down and mainly just focus on lock extensions. I know that when I search YouTube, I don't see a lot of people really talking about lock extensions. So I just wanted to, you know, come up here and answer a couple of questions that you guys may have. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So the first question a lot of people ask is, what exactly is lock extensions? Okay, so if you just do a quick Google search of what lock extensions are, Google says that lock extensions are extensions that are made from 100% human hair. They are attached to your own hair. Lock extensions are also known as fusion extensions, lock weaves, and sew-in strands. So basically exactly what it says, that's pretty much what lock extensions is. You know, if you don't have the right length, or you know, you want to start your lock journey off with a certain length, you can opt for lock extensions. It's going to give you the length you want, it's going to give you the thickness you want, and it's just going to overall just help your lock journey go a little smoothly. It says that it is made with 100% human hair, which is true. Most of the time the lock artist or whoever is installing your hair, they're either going to pre-make the lock before you get to your appointment, or they're gonna make the locks on your hair. So pretty much they're just taking human hair. You do any texture depending on how you want your locks to look. Some people use the afro kinky bulk hair, and I can add a picture right here. So that's pretty much just human bulk kinky hair, and they take that, they take a crochet needle and they're crocheting it into your hair and they're making a lock. You can also opt for like human hair bundles as well. You can use any type of bundle, kinky curly hair, deep wave, straight hair. It just depends on how you want that curl to look. And most of the time when people use bundles to make lock extensions, it's because they're going for like a boho lock look, which is what I had. I had curls at the end of my locks. So if you want to opt for curls or anything like that, most of the lock artists use bundles, and they'll just go in and they crochet it and they make the lock. So it is a tedious process, you guys. I know a lot of people, well, we're gonna get into the price and everything like that, but it is a very tedious job. So whoever is doing your lock extensions, just make sure that they're knowledgeable, make sure that, you know, they know what they're doing. And also don't complain about the price, because it's a lot of work that we have to do. to make these lock extensions, to make them look a certain type of way. So just give your lock artist some grace, some kindness, you know, work with them, because like I said, it is a tedious process. That's just a little definition of what lock extensions are. So I hope that answers some of you guys' question on what exactly lock extensions are. The second question I got asked a lot when I had my lock extensions is how much did I pay? Now, the price depends on the length, what length you want your locks to be, and it also depends on your hair texture and the density and everything like that. So 9 times out of 10, before you get lock extensions, you're going to have a consultation with your lock artist. I offer those as well, and it's just pretty much where we sit down, you know, face to face, or you could do a Zoom call, but I do have to see your hair. So your hair has to be in its natural state, and I have to, you know, ask you questions on how you want your locks to look, what's your desired lock look, how many locks you want, and everything like that. So all of those play a huge part in the price. Now for me, I wanted thick locks. The first set of locks I had with my natural hair, I had about over 100 and something locks. It was just too many. They was too small in my opinion. So when I got lock extensions, I wanted them to be on the thicker side. So I opted to get thicker locks, and I told my lock artist that when she did my hair. I told her I wanted no more than 70, 80 locks. I had an exact number in my head. I also told her how many parts I wanted in the front. I told her I only wanted 4 rows on each side. So that's 8 rows going across the top. I was very specific on how I wanted my locks to look. As far as the length go, I told her I wanted it kind of like bra strap maybe, or shoulder length. So I didn't really get them that long, and I started with like a baby fro. So with that being said, I told her 70, 80 locks on the thicker side, not too long. The price she gave me was $9.75, and yes, that included the wash, the hair itself, the actual lock itself, and the install price. So I paid $9.75. I know they can range from like $800 up until like $1,500, $1,800, depending on exactly how you want your locks. If you're opting for skinny locks, like smaller locks, be prepared to pay up into the thousands. Keep in mind, like I said, it's a tedious process. The amount of bundles we have to buy, you know, it is human hair, so we're buying like good quality hair to make sure that the locks last. So we also have to incorporate that into the price as well. So that's how much I paid for my locks. If you don't have the money or the funds you feel like to buy lock extensions, you don't have to. You can always just lock your real hair, but today I'm just talking about specifically lock extensions. So just know that they are a little pricey. If you are looking into it, if you have to save your money, just be prepared to pay a pricey fee. Okay, or the installation fee is going to be a little pricey. So the next question that I got asked is, how long did it take for me to get my lock extensions? So for me, I'm going to speak on when I got my lock extensions done and when I did my first set of lock extensions as a lock artist. When I got my lock extensions done, it took about 6 to 7 hours. I got there around 8 a.m. and I think we finished around 2:30 if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, you could go back to my video when I first got my lock extensions to see exactly, you know, the time, but I'm pretty sure it was from 8 to 2:30, and again, that included the wash, the retwist, me get my locks installed, me sitting up under the dryer and everything like that. So I don't think it took that long, and again, I did get thicker locks, so I didn't have that many locks. So that could have been why it didn't really take as long. When I did my first set of lock extensions, I also posted a video on that on my YouTube channel. So y'all just make sure to just go back if you're new here and watch all of my lock content. I also do vlogs and everything like that. So just go back and check your girl out. But when I did lock extensions, you guys, for the first time, it took me about 10 hours. How many locks did she have? I don't recall the exact number of locks that she had, but I just know it was my first time. It was my little cousin. I did it on her hair, and it took me about 10 hours. And she didn't get her hair washed. She came with her hair already washed. That just included the install, the retwist, and the blow dryer time. So yeah, that was my first time. I am getting a little faster, so yeah, don't judge me. But be prepared, you guys, to be there for a while if you're getting lock extensions. Some people, depending on how long they've been doing the service, you know, some people aren't that fast. Some people are just slower, you know, with the lock extensions. And I'm gonna keep saying this in the video, it's a tedious process. So you have to imagine us taking raw human hair bundles or whatever, and we're crocheting it into your hair and making the lock. So that can take a little bit of time, especially if you have long hair. We have to lock your hair first with the crochet needle, then we have to add the lock extensions. So it just depends on your hair type, your hair length, and everything like that. So, but I would just say be prepared, bring you a snack, bring you a meal, do whatever you got to do, baby, but you're gonna be in that chair for some time. So the next question I get asked is, do I do this service? And I answered that. I've been answering that all throughout this video. Yes, I do lock extensions. I do regular faux locks, as I mentioned earlier. So anything pertaining to locks I can do. Y'all can check out my Instagram at destined_locks, and I can put it down here as well. That is my Instagram hair page, so you guys can go on there, check me out. I do have consultations on my website. Like I said, if you aren't able to do face-to-face, we could do a Zoom call or anything like that, but we do have to do a consultation first. So yes, I do lock extensions. I haven't done a lot as of right now, but this is something that I'm really trying to tap into. I really want to do lock extensions. So if you want a consultation or something like that, just feel free to book it on my website. You can email me or anything like that. And yeah, let's work. The next question I get asked a lot is, how often should you retwist your hair? Now, you want to treat your lock extensions as if they are real locks or starter locks. So with the starter locks, you want to make sure that you're retwisting your hair every 6 to 8 weeks, just to make sure that, you know, your locks are maturing properly and everything like that. I would say get your retwist done every 6 to 8 weeks. Make sure you're going to a reliable lock artist. And once you get lock extensions, you don't have to go back to the person who installed your locks to do your maintenance. You can literally go to any lock artist. You could go into a lock shop. Anybody who do retwist, they're going to be able to retwist your hair with their lock extension. So don't think that just because you went to somebody who started your locks, you have to keep going back to them to maintain them, because you don't have to do that. Of course, if you love them, you know, you want to support them, whatever the case may be, then of course, you know, you could go back to them, but you do not have to necessarily go back to them to maintain your locks. You could go to anybody, you can maintain them yourself. It just depends on you and your preference. So the next question I have, what is this? I think this is question number 5. I don't know, y'all, I lost count. But the next question is how to prevent slippage. If you guys have watched my update videos on when I got my lock extensions, I talked about slippage a lot. I did experience some slippage, but it's only because I was doing the most with my lock extensions, okay? Like, I was styling them, I was wetting it with water every day, I was pulling it up, like I was doing the most. And me having locks before, I should have known better, and being that I'm a lock artist, I should have known better. But honestly, y'all, it was my first time having lock extensions, and I was just super excited. They were super, 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 super cute. I would say that lock extensions do get a little stiff, and I think that's why I was spraying it a lot. But stiffness and dryness and everything like that, that's just part of the process. It's just like if you get braids for the first time or locks, you know, that first day your hair is going to be stiff, or the first couple of weeks your hair is going to be stiff. That hair has to loosen up a little bit, and especially with lock extensions, you're crocheting the hair, so it has to be tight to make sure that we make an actual lock. You don't want loose locks, so they can be a little stiff. So I was spraying my hair a lot, so I experienced some slippage. When I did my install on my little cousin for the first time, she only had one of her locks slip, and she've had her locks for about maybe 3 months now, and she only had one lock slip, versus when I did my 3-month update video, I think I had about 3 or 4 slips. So, and I told her the same thing I'm telling you guys: leave your hair alone, don't spray it as much, and just let your hair do what it do. So to prevent slippage, you definitely want to make sure that you're not always having your fingers in your hair. You're not, you know, doing the most. Just let your hair do what it do. You're gonna go through the lock phase with the lock extensions. So you're gonna go through the frizziness, the dryness, anything you would typically go through with regular locks, you're gonna go through with the lock extensions as well. I know some people think that when they get lock extensions, they're skipping, you know, the locking process, which technically you are. You know, you're skipping a few steps, a few phases, but your hair is still gonna transform and go through different phases and stuff like that. So just be mindful of that. The next question I get asked a lot is, how long do lock extensions last? Now, lock extensions, honestly, you can keep them in for as long as you want. Like I said, if you have short hair and you want some length, they'll add the lock extensions to the end of their hair and they'll just grow their hair out. And once their hair gets to a certain length, some people cut the lock extensions off and just have natural locks after that. So it just depends on you and your preference, but they can last a very, 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 very long time, especially if you're on top of your maintenance routines. You're getting your hair retwisted as you should. I know people who keep them in forever, like literally forever. Again, it depends on you and how you want to go about your lock journey to determine how long they last. Another question is, are they permanent? Yes and no. I say yes because if you leave them in, of course, you know, they're going to become permanent locks. But it's not permanent to the point where you can't take them out. I took out my lock extensions maybe about 4 or 5 months in, and I simply just cut the lock extensions off and I combed out my hair. Being that my hair had only been locked for 5 or 6 months, it wasn't that hard to comb out. So it's not permanent. Even when you have regular locks, with some water and conditioner and some oil, baby, you could get you a comb and comb it out with no problem. So yes, it's permanent if you want it to be, and no, it's not permanent if you don't want it to be. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? So the next question is, can they be dyed? Yes, they can be dyed depending on what kind of hair your lock artist use. So if you want to eventually dye your lock extensions, make sure that you talk to your lock artist or whoever is installing your locks, because you want to make sure that they are using virgin human hair. Okay, and with virgin human hair, it's easier to dye, it's easier to take color. So you just want to make sure that they're using the right type of hair. I believe with like regular bundles and stuff, you can dye it, but it'll just turn out better if you have the right type of hair. So I would say virgin hair, and I learned this from when I took my lock extension class. The lady who taught me told me that virgin hair will be good to dye eventually if you want to dye your lock extensions. So that's what I learned. I haven't tried to color any of my lock extensions as of yet. I haven't had anybody who wanted a color service on their lock extensions. So yeah, not really sure. But what I was told from my lock extension class is that it has to be virgin hair. So I'm just putting a message out there. Don't shoot the messenger if it's not true. I was told this information from a very reliable source, and I'm just sharing this information with you guys. Okay, so virgin hair, yes, it can be dyed on lock extensions. Talk to your lock artist, make sure they're using the right hair. Now, the last and final question that I have is, how many locks did I have? And I think I spoke about this a little bit when I was telling you guys when I first got my lock extensions in and I had a certain number in mind. I told her between 70 and 80 locks, I believe. And I told her if she could get lower than that, then cool. I had 66 locks in my head, and I can put up videos or pictures for reference of when I had my lock extensions so you can see exactly the length and the thickness. But I had 66 locks in my head. I loved them. It wasn't too much, especially when I went to go take them out, y'all. The process was super, 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 super easy, which is why I told her I did not want that many locks in my head, because I knew personally I probably wasn't going to keep them in as long, and I didn't want to be sitting there all day combing out locks. So I told her, baby, put them on the thick side. So I did have 66 locks in my head. And again, it's a personal preference. It depends on you and how you want your locks to look. If you want them small, you know, just make sure you have a number to tell your lock artist. And yeah, just go from there. So those were all of the questions that I had. I think those was about 10 questions that I got asked the most when I had lock extensions, or questions that my clients have about lock extensions. So I hope this video helped someone out who is looking to get lock extensions. If it didn't, come back for another video and maybe I'll have some different questions. If you have any other questions that I have not answered in this video, you can feel free to email me. You can shoot me a DM on my hair page, destined_locks, or anything like that. You can even comment right below in the comment section. Okay, just let me know what you guys what other questions you guys may have so I can answer it in a video like today. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Again, I hope that I answered some of you guys' questions. I hope I answered it thoroughly. I hope you get a better understanding on lock extensions and how the process works. Until next time, I do want to do more videos like this, just me sitting down talking to you guys about lock extensions or anything like that. So again, leave me some comments below. And if you're new here, hi, make sure you come back, girl, because what's up? Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing to my YouTube channels. And until next time, bye.